This is my show. This month we have fish, nothing but fish. I started with a bucket of keys 20 years ago. They're found objects, be it driftwood, be it 5-cent items at a yard sale. A little bit of hand curlicues come into play, found objects. Oh, another one sold. That's always good to see.
Are you working on any new ones?
I've got one going that's almost done. I signed it.
Cool.
When I see a scene that really strikes me as worth sharing with other people, that's a little too good for me to contain. People can tell I'm happy. They might wonder why. Hey, I can show them. I'm not a musician, I'm not a writer. This is how I show them. I would call these deconstructed to a certain extent. Of course, I constructed them, but they're made of pieces that were intended for signs and were deconstructed, that were left over. These are made of sign vinyl. Comes in many colors. Some are reflective, some are metallic. Well, the Albany Center Gallery director happened to like this arrangement. He put them together. He's responsible for the exact arrangement. And beyond that, we use our own imaginations. We're expected to see what we want in them as if we're looking at clouds. Half of it is my work, half of it is your imagination. I remember the first mark I made on the wall, and it was met with disapproval. It was also met with paper and encouragement, crayons. Persistence and interest on my part were the main thing. When you're a little kid and you get attention, and it's good attention, you keep it up. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have no problem concentrating on it, expressing myself. I stuck with it. How the rest of the world flows around my drawing and creativity, I don't notice as much. I was always drawing, always creating landscapes, people, animals, the usual things you would draw. Eventually, I had to make a living, and I thought I would become a commercial artist at the time, but there were already a lot of commercial artists out there. So signs paid much better and called for a lot more discipline than a lot of other artists have. I made sure that I signed my signs any chance I got, so word would get around. And slowly, I started making more and more. In 1980, I officially became Frank Smith Signs, and very easily confirmed my suspicion that signs paid approximately twice what fine art will. It's taken me many, many years to improve some of my fine art skills to where I'm competitive. Of course, what I can charge for the work is always a consideration. If it's not enough, then I'd better be making signs. I'm a font junkie. I love fonts. I can guide them, and to great satisfaction. These people who are getting this sign love this font. They love these colors, but it's a little too subtle, so we're going to add a little color here. Yeah, any real old-time sign painter will tell you this brush is shot. This brush is just shot, but it works perfectly. I can't let it go. Not yet. Maybe next time. I think Dale Carnegie nailed it. You have to put yourself in other people's shoes. You have to know what they want, how they see the world, what they would really like, and in the case of signs and advertising, what they need, what's good for their business. It's important to get it right. There is no simpler grammar in the world than what goes on a sign. So I'm used to condensing things really seriously.
Working with Frank is a unique experience, certainly. He's his own man, and you can tell that he's an artist. And so I visited the studio on several occasions. We started talking to Frank about what we wanted and the feel that we were going for. Not only is Frank, we think, become a friend of ours, but he's created this whole little world for us. We came up with the idea of doing a website, and instead of using photographs, we were going to use drawings. It came out of a necessity because we're in the construction phase right now, and we really didn't have any pictures that we could use. So we provided some photographs of the property to Frank, and then from that he did some pen and ink drawings. and we're having a website developed based on those drawings. So he's created this little unique world for us to say to people, come and take a look at this. And I think people get an idea of what we're all about even before they've even been to our farm and to our brewery. Frank has a very interesting style, and if you start looking around Albany at some of the local signage, you're going to start to recognize his style and some of that work, and so you see it all over town.
I'm fairly satisfied with the professional and artistic choices I've made in life so far. There are a few things I've learned I would do better, but it's not too late to adjust. That's creativity. It's a very satisfying career because it satisfies people. Some are here for what they need, many are here for what they want, and that's a good feeling, satisfying their needs. If there was nobody left on Earth, yeah, I would still be an artist, but really not as much.